as you know, many federal employees are considering whether to take the delayed resignation offer that's currently on the table with a due date of February 6th. So we are doing a series of episodes to be able to explain for various groups of people how things work. So today's episode is going to be all about those who are pretty close to being eligible to retire, but not eligible for an early out. Okay, so we're going to walk through some of these details. Don't you worry. Hi, my name is Kowalik. I am the founder of ProFeds, and I welcome you to the Fed Impact podcast, where we offer candid insights on your federal retirement. If you're new to the show, welcome. We have lots of new followers, and so we're delighted to be able to help you in any way that we can. So let's start by talking about full eligibility, just so we're really clear what that is for everybody, especially if you've not really thought a whole lot about retirement just yet. Okay, so to be fully eligible, there are 3 different sets of rules that you could meet. You only have to meet one set. You need to be at least age 62 with at least 5 years of service, at least age 60 with at least 20 years of service, or have met your minimum retirement age, which is somewhere between the age of 55 and 57, depending on the year that you were born. Okay, with the MRA, you need to have at least 30 years of creditable service to be fully eligible to go. Now, aside from voila, you're eligible, you also receive an immediate pension when you retire, so you don't have to wait many years to get it. It's going to start right away, and there are no penalties applied to that pension. Okay, so very, very important that we understand how full eligibility works. So next, I want to talk about the early out eligibility, because this is a new twist that was just added to the OPM language on the site regarding this offer. But to be clear, this video that we're doing right now is for people who don't meet this requirement. And so I need to tell you what the requirement is first so that you know whether you meet it or not. Okay. So the rules for a VERA, or a voluntary early retirement authority, or an early out, is this. You need to be at least age 50 with at least 20 years of service, or any age with at least 25 years of service. Okay, so if you find yourself not fully eligible and not eligible for a VERA, an early out, this video is for you. Okay, because you're going to have some really unique things happening to you. And honestly, I think you're in the most vulnerable group of everybody, because you're so darn close that this offer is going to look tempting. Okay, so here's the deal. On a VERA eligibility, if you were to retire under a VERA retirement, there are no penalties assessed to your pension. Even though you're getting it earlier than you should, there's no penalties, and you're going to draw that pension right away, which is amazing. Okay? But remember, everybody on this video should not meet that requirement. If you do, go watch the VERA video, because I made one especially for you as well. Okay, so here's our example. The first one is someone who's 59 years old and who has 5 years of service. Okay, they are in fact eligible for a pension eventually, but they wouldn't be eligible to receive it until they're 62. So this is what we know as a deferred retirement. So someone who is vested with their 5 years of service, but not able to draw the pension right away because of the nature of the circumstances when they retired. They did not meet the age and service requirements of either full eligibility or an early out. So in a deferred retirement scenario, not only does it take time for your pension to start, for some people many, many years, you also end up losing some really important benefits that you've come to know and love, even if you didn't realize it. So the first one is FEGLI. That is your life insurance that you have with the government. Listen, if you're insurable and you can go get life insurance somewhere else, maybe it doesn't feel like a very big deal to you. But if you find yourself uninsurable and unable to purchase life insurance anywhere else, you might find that this is pretty coveted insurance that you'd like to keep. Same thing with your health insurance. Someone going out under a deferred retirement does not get to keep their health insurance either. And the same holds true for when you start your pension. You don't get to pick these benefits back up. Okay, very, very important that we understand the rules here and what you are giving up if you were to take a deferred retirement. The next element that we want to talk about is a program called the FERS Special Retirement Supplement. This is the one that kind of looks a little bit like Social Security, but it's paid prior to the age of 62. Okay, a deferred retiree forfeits all right to the Special Retirement Supplement forever. And lastly, the Thrift Savings Plan. So with a deferred retiree, a lot of this depends on how old they are when they leave. So let me set the stage of what it looks like. And I apologize if you've listened to a number of other videos. I explained this a couple of different times. But with the Thrift Savings Plan, we have to look to the IRS rules. So the IRS has created a special set of rules for retirement accounts, the TSP and these types of accounts being one of them. We hear of IRAs and those types of things. So the rule is they don't want you to access this money prior to the age of 59 and a half. Now they make some special rules for accounts like the TSP and 401ks. Okay, so the rule is for those types of accounts, TSP and other 401ks, if you separate or retire from your employer where that plan lives, you are able to have access to your TSP or 401k as long as you retire or separate in the year in which you turn 55 or older. So we're talking calendar year that you turn 55. If you retire prior to that or separate prior to that, you will now have a penalty, a 10% early withdrawal penalty on all money that you take from the TSP from the moment that you leave service all the way to 59 and a half. Okay, so for our folks who are much younger, that's a bigger penalty, but in reality, this account is not supposed to be used earlier in life. It's supposed to be used later in life, and that's why the IRS has set the rules that they did. So we need to understand that for these two examples that I gave, that person who was 55 and the other who was 59, neither of them would have penalties to the Thrift Savings Plan withdrawal that they have to be able to use that money. But if someone were to be younger than that, then of course those penalties would kick in. All right, so we always encourage folks to know your numbers. The more you understand about how your eligibility factors into this big equation and what you're truly qualified for, it gives you a better sense of how to be in the driver's seat of all of this. And so I hope that you'll take every opportunity to get super clear on your numbers. If you need a little bit of help, we do have retirement workshops. Certainly getting out to these sessions and having a clearer understanding of what's available to you with respect to all of your benefits, not just eligibility wise, but all of the benefits that are available to you and what it's going to look like moving forward in retirement. Okay, so you can find all of our retirement workshops by going to fedimpact.com/attend. You'll be able to see all the locations and dates that are available. Okay. All right. So if you want a little bit more direct communication with us with respect to an upkeep on all of your benefits, how these things work, the legislation that's on the table right now and how that's going to change, pull out your phone and text the word podcast to 224-444-6144, and we will do a little bit of a text exchange and get you everything that you need. Okay. And our hope, of course, is that you subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts so that you're sure not to miss an episode. All right. We hope that this was helpful as you're thinking about planning for retirement and potentially taking this delayed resignation offer. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next episode.